All right, hey, it's Matt, BlindGuysGarage, and today we're back on the '69 Chevelle. Kind of like I said we would be for the rest of this week and probably part of next week. I work slow. What can I say? Today we're going to be installing the tank sink fuel tank we put together a couple videos ago, and building the rest of the fuel system up to the front of the car. My camera's crooked, I'm sorry. So we can get the fuel line all the way up to the front, plumbed and ready to go. So we still have a couple pieces we're missing, but let's get started. All right, well, here we go. Old tank is out. Let's crawl under here real quick and take a quick peek. Oh, I'm laying on my creeper backwards. It'll be all right. Come on, peoples, let's go. So here we are. This floor panel's not done very nicely. Looks like they left the rust behind. Actually, they cut the frame out nice right there. They left the rust behind up here in the corners, though. See? They didn't cut all the rust out of them. They just left it. Come on now, people. Let's do a better job than that. This gives people like me a bad name. I at least cut all the rust out when I do this. But minus that, everything else looks pretty good under here. So, as my head is currently missing the creeper, I guess I'm going to start putting the new tank in. Old tank came out pretty good, minus the fact I wish y'all had smell-o-vision, because fuel in this thing was old and nasty, and it was full, nice and heavy. So, bring it back in a bit. Let's try to get this other tank strangled in here. And, yeah, then we'll have to make lines and all that good stuff. So, bring it back. Alright, well, having to make a new ground for the gas tank because the old one was broke. So here's our new ground. Yes, this is how I do things. Crimping in, heat shrink. No, I didn't have black. All I had was, I think it's yellow, might be green. And let's grab the light real quick, which should be laying right here. And we'll slide under here real quick, take a quick peek. And we got the tank dangling against the straps here, hanging on the exhaust. I'm glad the exhaust is here. I was kind of mad taking it apart, but you know. And then everything else is far under there. So that's it so far. We've got the new tank set mostly in place. So we'll bring it back in a bit. All right. Well, I like those rear lines to be made in braided hose. By the way, we got the rear tank finally pulled all the way up, tightened up. Now we're making the lines from the tank to the filter regulator. And that's probably where we're going to stop for the evening. But we're about to rob Peter to pay Paul. Mr. Camaro is about to give up his fuel line right here. This is just, it's a brand new line that was just made up for, I think we made it up to run that motor on the run stand, Mr. Black's big block Chevy on the run stand over there. So we stole it to put on this car. Well, now we're going to steal it off this car and put it over there, which doesn't really matter because it doesn't fit this car anyway. It's just doing a loop. It was just meant to put some fuel to the motor. So let's steal it. All right, well, here's our line. Well, one of them. I've already put the other one in the car. Yes, I know, red and blue. Luckily, this is under the car. Nobody will ever see it. And I didn't have any other straights for some reason. I've ordered a bunch of line and fittings, but it hasn't came in yet for this car. And I want to go ahead and get this part done so I can start running the hard line all the way up to the front of the car. So this will get me basically done. I'll need a 90 and another 90. Crap. That was CC on the phone. Insert pic. All right. Now, we're going to make one of these lines for you. Like I said, I didn't have another fitting. This fitting works great for this line. I normally order only black. I don't know why I got a blue and red one. Probably just one left over from something else. But let's build a line real quick. And yeah, let's do it. All right, so we're going to start with building a line. Make you a tape line, design it exactly where you want it. I like to put them in a vise to help myself out. And then I use a grinder to cut this stuff because it cuts fast, melts through it, and doesn't leave sharp edges. So we'll take my electric grinder right here, line it up right where we want it. I got a table saw, keister right now. All right, line it up right where we want it. That's gonna be one rough, ugly cut right there. Oh, that's not so bad. Okay. I didn't pull. You're supposed to put some pressure on this side as you're doing it. But either way, now here's what we end up with. here's our fitting, which ironically, after I tell you I don't have any more straights, I find one more. So we will take this fitting apart, just like so. And then what you're going to want to do is set this in here, just like so. And then press her in, good and tight. All right, be right back, hold on a second. All right, and now we know it's sunk as much as the electrical tape, but I like to take me a little screwdriver and find the lip of the rubber hose. There's a little step in here that it's supposed to run up in and touch to. It's this far in, so it tells you there's how much seat you have, which is right. Same thing on this side, that's this far in, so there you go. So we know we're straight in the hose hold there. Now, we'll take a little bit of assembly lube. You can use oil, assembly lube, whatever. Run you some down in the hole right there. Grab the fitting. Put some assembly lube across it. Oil works fine. WD-40 also works, but this assembly lube is actually working a lot better than I thought it would. I haven't managed to use it that much. So we'll just get it started. And then, what you're going to do, if you haven't done a lot of them, I suggest putting a tape line right here. I just put my fingernail under it and hold my finger here and never move it. So what we'll do is we'll get it started. We'll start the collar right here in the vise, whatever they want to call this piece specifically. Start the collar in the vise. Put your fingernail under it. Hold it tight so you know it doesn't move. Now grab the wrench, and like I said, all you do is you put your fingernail. Let me show you one more time. I put my fingernail right against the bottom of it. So as I tighten it up, if it presses away from my finger, I know that I have to redo this hose. If it doesn't press away, then we know we're good. So that's why I say if you haven't done a lot of them, put a piece of tape right there so you'll know, or a mark or something. It's always good to know. So now, fingernail, press up on the hose as you're tightening here. Let's see if we can get our fitting here. Well, let's go ahead and run it in as far as we can by hand first, because we haven't done that yet. Let's see here. All right, there's pretty good and snug there, my finger anyway. Now just start wringing her. Oh, knocking over my oil. All right, now just start wringing her in there. As I said, push. Still knocking over my oil because I put it in the wrong place again. All right, now just keep wringing it in and push up on the hose the whole time so it doesn't move. There you go. There you go, good and tight. Now we'll pull it off. Check where my fingertip is. It moved up just a hair. I mean, just a fidget. Not enough to worry about. Give her a good pull. That line is not going nowhere. It's ready to go. And actually, I might actually use this. We'll have to cut this other side off and put a 90 on it. But for where it goes from here, or from the fuel pump to the metal line. All right, but either way, there you go. That's how you make a line. Sweet, simple, easy. Just be very careful to know where this collar, sleeve, whatever you want to call this piece, nut, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know exactly what it's called. Make sure it doesn't move up the line, because if it moves up the line, first time it gets pressure on it, it blows it apart. Don't ask me how I know. All right, bring it back. All right, well, I'm done for the day. I say that as I'm just getting started on the camera for y'all. All right, so we've laid the whole wiring harness. We did that yesterday. We ran the fuel system complete today. It took a lot longer than I thought it would for some reason. But I've got the line ran all the way up to right here. This is where it stops until we make the final piece line right here coming to the motor. All right, let's walk down the side of the car real quick and show you what we got going on there. I'm probably not going to be able to see a lot of this, and I know somebody ain't going to like the way I did it, but I'm going to tuck this a little tighter than this once we get it all set in. But right now, this line's right here. It's going to tuck up. Ah, stupid camera phone. All right. This line's going to tuck up and away behind the frame rail right there. And then here's where we got our fuel filter regulator mounted right there. You'll see it probably. There she is. It's a little closer to the exhaust than I wanted it to be. And then, of course, this line right here runs and tucks in the frame rail. Oh, sorry. This line right here runs and tucks in the frame rail right there. And then it comes under. I don't have my creeper down here, but we'll roll under here for you to give you an idea of what we got going on. All right, so then it comes in right there from the frame. and runs down the frame rail and all the factory clips. Yeah, the floor's a little rusty on this thing. All the way across. It goes all the way up across the trans cross member into the factory location. I mean exactly where the factory fuel line ran, except for up there where I turned it and ran it up the firewall. So I mean it looks pretty good, I think. Only thing I could have done better is use stainless steel. Only thing I could have done better is run stainless line, but you know, somebody's got new plugs in it. And then there's a good exhaust under here, and that's about it. All right, let's get out. All right, and yesterday I showed you the intake that we pulled out of the box. Here she is. I contacted the seller. Let's turn the camera on, make sure I can see what's going on. I contacted the seller, and they said we can send it back, or we can send it back, or we can give us a $60 rebate. It had 2 scratches, one right there, one right there. One of them is a scratch dent looking thing, very slight right there, and you can't even see the other ones anymore. There's a little line right there where you can see my touch-up paint though. Oh, that's just, yeah, where you can see my touch-up paint. But that's all right. And then right here looks pretty good. And then, I mean, check that out. That's pretty cool with them coil pack cover things on it. And see the spark plug wires will come out right there on the sides. I kind of like it. I think I might even buy a set for myself. All right. Well, as for the fuel system, now it's done. Now, I mean, we still have to test it and make sure it all works, but that will be later because we don't have a motor in it. We don't have a fuel pump wire ran to it yet. I'll probably just do that off camera because it's one wire run up the frame. What I do with those is I take and put them in a piece of vacuum line so they don't rub on nothing. Some people say it's a waste of time, waste of money. I like to do it just so I know that wire's not gonna rub nothing. But past that, I would say we'll run a wire up the frame with the fuel line. It'll split right here, come up over the fender well, and come right here to the mini fuse box, which I have not mounted yet. Show you that real quick. It'll go right here. But I might have to mount 2 for this car because we have some other aftermarket stuff. Got my phone ringing. But I mean, for that, that's about it. So yeah, fuel system's done. I think we're basically ready to put the motor and trans in. I'm waiting on fuel injectors. So I guess we could put the motor and trans in without the fuel injectors. But I'm waiting on fuel injectors. That's the only thing really we have left. So as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good things. I read all the comments. I answer all the comments. Any questions you have for me, let me know. And any questions you got on this build, let me know. Once we're done with it, we'll do a full once-over video of every single part we used and how we did things, just for those who might be wondering. So, as of that, y'all have a good one. Later.